right. Well, hey, good morning, everybody. It is great to be talking to you again. Another half episode today because there's only really one big story trending in the crypto space right now, and we're going to get into it here. As always, links to everything talked about are down in the description, and thank you to all those who have subscribed. Your support means the world to me. It really does. I really do appreciate it. But all right, hope you got yourselves a big old cup of coffee just like I do right now, so that way we can hop into things. That's good coffee. All right, first things first. $1 billion was liquidated last night when the Bitcoin price crashed by $1.4 thousand in minutes. Ethereum took the plunge as well. I just happened to have my Blockfolio up, and I was looking at what I thought was a pretty darn good little bull run. I was like, okay, this ain't sustainable. We'll see some pullback, no big deal. Watched a little bit more of the TV show, talked to the wife for a second, refreshed, and bam, it was gone. So, price of Bitcoin and Ethereum plunged by 13% and 21% respectively within minutes on the second. The move liquidated more than $1 billion worth of futures contracts as BTC/USD dropped from $12,000 to as low as $10,550. Like, it was impressive and insane. There appear to be two main reasons behind this sudden cascade of liquidations. First, the volume in the crypto market tends to drop on the weekends. Second, the market was heavily swayed to longs or buyers. So, cryptocurrency markets tend to see these large liquidations during the weekend. Liquidity often drops because there's fewer active traders, and lower volume can lead to higher price movements as cryptocurrencies become more vulnerable. A little bit of education there for you. As hundreds of millions of dollars worth of long contracts began to get liquidated, Bitcoin and Ethereum dropped rapidly, kind of a cascading effect. Someone gets liquidated, oh crap, and someone else gets liquidated, and then it just kind of builds and builds and builds. But these mass liquidations have happened several times in the past 5 months, most notably on the so-called Black Thursday on March the 13th. $1 billion worth of liquidations occurred. Similarly, right before the halving on May the 11th, the price of Bitcoin dropped to $8,100, which also resulted in mass liquidations. Over the last several days, especially after Bitcoin's upsurge above 11K, the cryptocurrency market was heavily swayed to the buyer end of the spectrum, and the funding rates of Bitcoin and Ethereum were nearing levels not sustainable over a long period. Which I can see, you rise that high that fast, there is going to be a pullback of some type. Just ouch. But for now, most traders anticipate some sideways action for the days ahead. Bitcoin seems to have rebounded. Time of writing this was at 11,300. I think it slumped a little bit more. Yeah, I can see. All right down here, it's $11,117.91 right now. Still in a very good spot. But this bullish scenario, according to this article, depends on Bitcoin getting back and holding that $11,300 mark. But we will see. It's going to be very interesting. We're definitely out of the boring end of the crypto woods, which is good. But dang, that was a rough liquidation. But hey, Bitcoin obviously was the only one that article touched on Ethereum. So let's hop over to number 2. Ethereum, it passed by $400 like on Saturday. It was a mark that it hadn't hit since August of 2018. Rising interest in DeFi has been a key driver of this, as it has, and I mean, Ethereum still has grown like 70% over the last month. It's pretty insane. So, through Saturday night in California, Ethereum briefly broke the $400 barrier, continuing the cryptocurrency's immense gains. Then, at around 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time, it plunged like a World War XI. You don't use numbers, you use the letter I. Editor, catch these things. All right, like a World War II dive bomber, crashing from $413 to $359 in less than half an hour. I really like that analogy, but it's World War I, not World War I. Sorry, my history degree's coming out. Anyways, as of the writing of this article at 10:54 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the price had stabilized about 375. And I think it's in the 370s still. But just another example. This is all anyone's talking about. I clicked on site after site after site. Bitcoin, Ethereum, dropping, bombing, destroyed, tanking, dumps, bull run over, altcoins dead. Like, people are just trying to process this and make sense of it in any way they can right now. Do not blame you guys for doing so, but for those of us who've been in the cryptocurrency space for a while at this point, this reminds me of some of the earlier days. Like, if you bought Bitcoin at 12K and then it flash crashed, I am sorry, but don't panic. Hold on to it. It'll be back up there eventually. It will. I don't see this bull run being over because of one bad day. We're going to have a couple days of some sideways movement as everyone kind of shakes it off, and then we'll get right back into the swing of things. Just based off that first article, don't go making massive buys on weekends, apparently, or holidays. Because I would assume most people aren't trading those days, which could lead to increased volatility. So, trade at your own risk. All right, well, here, let's hop over. I did find this nice little VeChain article, which I assume a lot of you would like to hear about. So, VeChain-based digital marketplace, VeRT, will launch a beta version of the Vulcan marketplace on August the 6th with 10 NFT, or non-fungible tokens. And this article thinks that VET will be listed on Coinbase and Bitpanda soon. Maybe. So, Vulcan, this release, is going to be a hub for dApps of the ecosystem to use as a marketplace, a site to post updates, a user-friendly dApps creator, and where they can make their own tokens. Vulcan does not require cryptocurrency to build a dApp, nor will there be any gas or transaction fees, which is nice. So pretty much anyone can do it. You don't even have to own cryptocurrency. You just have to be a developer who understands how it works. So that's really good. I think that'll spur some pretty quick adoption just because you can avoid having, to pay money. Free things always do well, especially in a market so based on money. So, CEO of Vulcan, Forged, and VeRT announced the digital marketplace began testing on July the 10th. Therefore, he explained the launch of Vulcan will be an important milestone for the platform and the entire ecosystem based on the VeThor blockchain. So, from Vulcan, you can buy, sell, auction, or transfer any NFT in the VeThor blockchain. Then it doesn't have to be a Vulcan dApp like Block Babies. Any VRA token can be transferred or sold from your web wallet and even your VeChain Thor wallet. It's very flexible. Pretty good. Good for VeChain. I can see VeChain being listed on Coinbase in the near future. It seems like a good, strong, steady performer with a really good real-world use case. So, honestly, I'd be a bit more surprised if Coinbase put it off. It's not like it's in a testing phase or not in its mainnet. It's definitely a worthwhile one to add to the pile. So, that does it for VeChain. Let's hop over. So, Vladimir Putin, everyone's favorite kinda dictator over in Russia. Like, he's not, but he kinda is. So, anyways, he signed into law Friday a bill that regulates the digital financial asset transactions, so crypto transactions. Russian media RIA Novosti reported it was approved by the State Duma, which is the lower house of the Russian parliament, on July the 22nd, and then the Federation Council on July the 24th. For those of you who don't know, when the Soviet Union or the USSR collapsed, it was replaced with the Russian Federation. However, the central government does exert a large amount of control over the federated republics that do still exist. Like I said, kinda not a dictator, kinda a dictator. The law gives a definition to the digital currency, stating that it is recognized as an aggregate of electronic data capable of being accepted as the payment means, not being the monetary unit of the Russian Federation or foreign state as investments. And it goes on for another couple paragraphs. Basically what it means is cryptocurrencies assets can be sold, purchased, exchanged, and pledged. However, they cannot be used as a means of payment. So if you want to pay for something, you got to use your good old Russian rubles, but you still can't hold crypto, trade crypto, and give crypto. I mean, not being able to use it to buy things is limiting in my mind, but there's going to be some creative ways around it. You get yourself a card. Well, I'm not spending my Bitcoin. It converts my Bitcoin to dollars at the point of sale. So possibly that's going to be a kind of quasi way around it. It'll depend on what Russia is willing to tolerate. But it was a pretty basic bill. It didn't even include like token or mining or anything like that. So Anatoly Akazov, head of the State Duma Committee on the Financial Market, told news outlets that a more detailed cryptocurrency regulation will be in another bill, which may be adopted in the autumn session. So basically, they push this out there so that way it can go into effect on the 1st of next year. So they have some regulations, and then they're going to work on a more robust package here in a few months. Seems all right to me. It's not exactly what I would like. I'd like you to be able to, buy and sell with crypto in Russia. I think that'd be good. But this does at least give clear lines. Here's what you can do. Here's what you can't do. So that way people know the boundaries and the rules and the sandbox that they have. So, I'd like more, but I'm glad it's not less. That's my take on it. All right, well, hey, let's end things off on a nice note. I read this and I was like, oh, it's a bit of a long read, so I only really touch on the first half of this article, but if you're interested, it's definitely worth your time. So, this is about blood on the blockchain, specifically blood donations. So, a system in which health officials would be able to track blood donations from vein to vein in real time. So, from the vein of the donor through all the different spots it goes to the vein of the person who gets it. Apparently, it's a pretty complex blood supply chain. It might sound impossible. However, using blockchain technology to track and trace blood supply chains, this may turn the idea closer to reality. So the American Red Cross estimates that someone in the U.S. needs blood every 2 seconds. The organization further announced that it's facing a severe shortage of blood, particularly that of convalescent plasma. Warren Tomlin, the digital innovation leader for Ernst & Young Canada, told Cointelegraph that the firm has been working with the non-profit organization Canadian Blood Services as a proof of concept to address traceability challenges. He said, "We realized how incredibly complex the blood supply chain was when we started working with the Canadian Blood Services. Most people think about getting blood from donors. What they don't often consider is the data associated with each donation." I do agree with that. If you've never donated blood in the U.S., I'm going to walk you through kind of how it works because I've done it multiple times. You show up. You can do it by appointment or walk up. They have donation. They'll have blood drives set up. You walk up, you sign in, you blah, 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 blah. You give them your driver's license and all that stuff. They take you behind a curtain. They prick your finger to check for your iron level because if it's below a certain level, you can't donate. Then they ask you a series of questions, and you have to fill out actually a digital form. Normally, they're asking things like, have you been out of the country? If so, which countries? Things like that, and different things that disqualify different people. In fact, in the United States, I believe the Red Cross still, if you're gay, won't let you donate, which I'm not even going to get into that. It's pretty outdated. But there's all these different disqualifiers. They take all that information, and once you've done all that, that is when they then take you over to the table and let you donate blood, at which point everything is scanned. So they take the paperwork you gave them, they scan it, they scan the blood bag, make sure they line up. When they're done, they scan everything and do this. So it's a process, and that's just what I saw as a donor. It's hard to imagine everything that goes on from that point. So numerous amounts of data is generated when blood donations are taken from the donor centers and sent out to hospitals for transfusion. All this data has to be tracked according to ensure that waste, shortages, and other inefficiencies don't occur, like vampires stealing it. Based on this, a supply chain management solution capable of transparently tracing blood across its entire journey could greatly benefit the the multi-million-dollar blood market. Blockchain technology may prove to be an ideal solution for capturing data at its source and recording it securely. I do agree. In fact, VeChain, which we've talked about, they're doing it with food. They're doing it with limited medical supplies. Might be something they're good at, but there's definitely some others. Paul Brody, the global blockchain innovation leader at EY, told Cointelegraph that a challenge currently faced by many enterprises is keeping track of inputs and outputs as they move across organizational boundaries. Brady noted that by leveraging the private Ethereum blockchain network supported by the EY OpsChain platform, EY has tracked donations coming from the Canadian Blood Services across 7 key points, creating an improved audit trail for the blood products. So they're working on it. It's still in the early stages, but it already represents an improvement in the advancement in healthcare. So that is pretty cool. The article goes on, talks about like cases for tokenization and different companies getting in on the game and all that stuff. I'm not really going to go into that here. Definitely check it out down in the description if you want to learn a little bit more. I do think that this is something that blockchain can do. It can do well, and it could really help the world and the people in it. So I'm really happy that this is happening, and I wanted to talk about it for a little bit. And it's my YouTube channel, so alrighty. Well, hey, that does it for 5 of the trending articles in the crypto news space. Thank you for making it all this way. Please feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I mean, if you made it this far, you might as well. You obviously enjoyed it enough to keep listening. So, top 10 cryptocurrencies by market cap. It is a bloody Sunday. Oh, Sunday. Bloody Sunday. Bitcoin. We'll give this bad boy an old refresh just to make sure we got the most up-to-date information. There we go. Bitcoin's down by just under 4%. Ethereum's still up by almost 3%. XRP's up by 7.5%, but it is dipping a little bit now. Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, both down around 7%. Litecoin and Cardano both down 3.5%. And Crypto.com coin and Binance coin both down by around 2%. Oof. You gotta get down to number 11 before you see something else in the green chain link. Well, 8,038 cents. Look at chain link. Look at it go. But yeah, no, it is a pretty red Sunday. That liquidation was rough. But there's always going to be pullbacks. There's always going to be problems. This is a very, very risky market to be in. So as always, never put more in than you're willing to lose. So with that, I will bid you guys adieu for the day. I'll be back tomorrow to hit you up with 10 of the top trending articles in the crypto news space. Peace out.